Order 66 was the devastating order that ended with the demise of the Jedi Order at the hands of Palpatine's clone army. But what would happen if Order 66 never happened?
Commander Kelly, the time has come. Execute Order 66.
Yes, my lord.
Okay, so for this rethink, I want to go over the idea that Order 66 is still hidden in the clones. Palpatine still kills Mace Windu with the help of Anakin, however, when it comes to executing the Order, something goes wrong. As we know, Order 66 was a program in the inhibitor chip in the clones' brains, so we're going to say that there's a bug in the program, and the clones were not affected by the Order and continue to act as normal following the chain of command. So, Palpatine is ultimately in the worst scenario possible. His cover is blown and his decade-long plan to take power is essentially ruined. The Jedi would now have the evidence to convince the Senate to indict Palpatine. The clone army, after all, served the Senate, not Palpatine, despite how much power he had. It's likely Palpatine would end up dead as opposed to under arrest. I believe the Jedi would quickly rally its best warriors to Coruscant along with a garrison or so of clones, where they would likely apprehend or probably kill Palpatine. As well as this, Anakin would likely be apprehended, sensing his hopelessness without his new master, which would likely result in his arrest. That's not the only thing. The Republic would learn of the Separatist Council's location on Mustafar, and would quickly apprehend them and also shut down the droid armies, bringing a swift end to the Clone Wars and a Republic victory, also getting confessions to prove how the war was orchestrated by the Separatist Council and Palpatine.
The war is over! Lord Sidious promised us peace.
Now, this may seem like a very happy ending. The Sith and their allies are brought to justice, but this is just the start. You see, Palpatine being removed from power creates a massive power vacuum that's going to need to be filled. Throughout the Clone Wars, Palpatine had gained far more executive powers than any of his predecessors before him. Essentially, this means that whoever takes his place will inherit even more power than a Chancellor traditionally would, which is a great deal. As well as this, they'd have to deal with the aftermath of the Clone Wars and reintegrating systems aligned with the CIS. Also, they'd have control over a colossal military, potentially the largest the galaxy has ever seen. Not to mention many other issues, such as how the relationship between the government and the people they serve would be severely shaken by the revelation that the war was all a ploy by Palpatine. Also, the clone army would need to be completely re-evaluated to ensure there wasn't any more hidden agendas that could bring about a cataclysmic end to the Republic. Essentially, the next Chancellor of the Republic would have to be someone incredibly capable, as if the wrong candidate was chosen, the result could be chaos. For this reason, it's highly likely the Jedi would be forced to take power temporarily. We know the Jedi were considering this towards the end of the Clone Wars, as they believed they would be the best mediators to ensure that power was handed down to the right person. Now, this can go one of two ways. Either the Senate respect the Jedi's intentions and allow them to take temporary control of the military, allowing them to oversee the re-inclusion of the CIS into the Republic, as well as ensure the next Chancellor is elected democratically, and I believe if this was to happen, it would go relatively well. The Jedi don't want to keep power as it really doesn't interest the Order at all, and they'd likely ensure a capable candidate filled the role with the full backing of the Senate. However, alternatively and possibly more likely is that the Senate would be furious, particularly those who are pro-war and in a position to make a bid for the role as Chancellor. This would likely result in them threatening their own secession movement, which would likely ruin the Republic if it came to pass. For this reason, the Jedi would be forced to respond by using their colossal army to strong-arm these systems into staying calm, whilst the war was brought to a smooth end and a new Chancellor is selected, despite how bureaucratic this course may be. This may lead to the Jedi-Senate relations reaching a boiling point which could lead to violence. If these powerful senators who want to rush the process could gain a majority, they could overturn the Jedi's control over the clone army, which could end very badly for the Jedi. Ultimately, without Order 66 being successful, it could bring about an age of prosperity under a just government, or it could potentially end in suffering under a tyrant and potentially the end of the Jedi again. But what do you think is more likely? Please put your opinions and scenarios below in the comments. Also, please leave a like and sub for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.